Okay, so this is the second part of the Chapter 8 notes review walkthrough. Apparently there's a lot to say. We finished up with meiosis 2 last time. So now we're going to scroll down. Scrolling. And here's a comparison between mitosis and meiosis. I'm putting it on one page. Oof, maybe not one page. Let's try. That's pretty good, 100%. So you see in mitosis and meiosis, we have the duplicated chromosomes, but in meiosis, we're going to have where they cross over, so they're not separate because they're crossing over. That's one big difference. Then you see in metaphase versus metaphase 1, in metaphase, you have all individual dudes and pairs in the center. In metaphase 1, you got like this double pair action going on. So in anaphase, you got just a little, what do you want to call it, line with a twist in it, floating around, little daughter cells, sister chromatids. In anaphase 1, you still got the chromosome pairs, right? And then down here, in the end of meiosis 2, is when you get something closer to telophase, right? Okay. So where do we get some of the variation that we see? We have independent assortment of chromosomes. So mom and dad chromosomes can go to either area. You get lots of sperm, but you only get one egg from the result. You get random fertilizations. You don't know who you're going to pair up. There's crossing over where you swap your sections on the chromosome level. And it says the sites of crossing over appear as X-shaped regions. Each is called a chiasma. Crossing over pairs of chromosome trade genes, so mom gene now on dad chromosome. So we talked about that a little bit, but now this is a nice way to really see how they're swapping out stuff, right? A little bit of red on the blue, a little blue on the red. And you can review the checkpoint. I find the checkpoints are good just because they make me feel smart generally. So now, what happens when stuff goes wrong? Non-disjunction, this is when members of a chromosome pair fail to separate in anaphase. Non-disjunction occurs, or can occur, in meiosis 1 or 2. Why is it bad? So here's our Down syndrome. You get a trisomy at 21, which is 3 of the 21 chromosomes leads to Down syndrome. And I'm going to show you, if you have non-disjunction in meiosis 1, your end result is going to have like a couple with 3 in it, while some are normal. If it's non-disjunction in meiosis 2, you have some with 3, some with 1, some missing 1, and some with 2. Okay? So you have normal. So non-disjunction in meiosis 1, they're all screwed up. In meiosis 2, just half of them are screwed up. Makes sense. Okay. Down syndrome. This is 1 every 700 kids. Trisomy at chromosome 21 is the most common chromosome abnormality and is the most common serious birth defect. So they're actually doing some studies with rats that may change this, but we will see. You know this characteristic facial features. Frequently there's a fold of skin at the inner corner of the eye. There's a very round face, a very flattened nose, as well as a short stature, heart defects, and a susceptibility to leukemia and Alzheimer's disease. People with Down syndrome usually have a lifespan shorter than normal. They also exhibit varied degrees of mental retardation. However, individuals with the syndrome may live to be middle-aged or beyond, and many are socially adept and can function well in society. Oops, that was way too far. Let's scroll down just a little bit. Seems to go up when the mom gets older for Down syndrome. And you talk about, like, on shows like Glee, how do we think about people with Down syndrome? Let's look at some of the other abnormalities of sex chromosomes in humans. Well, this was an autosomal. Let's look at sex. So it says if you have 2 X's and a Y of Klinefelters, and if you have 2 Y's and an X, you just look like a normal male. If you have 3 X's, you just look like a normal girl. If you have just 1 X, you have Turner syndrome. and you will be a female, but you look a little odd. Right? So let's talk about Klinefelters. These are men with this disorder, have male sex organs and normal intelligence, but the testes are abnormally small. The individual is sterile. He often has breast enlargement or other feminine body contours. So he's a little bit more feminine. Let's say females who are lacking in X chromosome. So this is our Turners. We call them XO, X0 because there's nothing there. These women, they have a characteristic appearance including short stature, often webbed skin extending from the neck and shoulders. Women with Turner syndrome are sterile because their sex organs do not fully mature at adolescence, and they have poor development of breasts and other secondary characteristics, sex characteristics. However, they are usually of normal intelligence. And then there's like the whole, are men with extra Y more violent? And there's a good link to look at that. Another checkpoint. And yay, chapter 8 is finally done. So hopefully this walkthrough helped you a little bit. Remember these, the Word document for these notes is in the week 2 questions thread under the post called My Notes, and I hope this helped.